everyone, I'm Rachel, and in this tutorial, I'll show you how to paint realistic clouds in a beautiful blue sky using the Color Therapy app. In the advanced mode of this app, you can find a smudge tool which works perfect for creating fluffy cloud texture. One thing you want to remember is to paint the background and clouds first before you do anything else. Otherwise, you might color over your work. If you want to follow along with the same image I'm using, go under the Classic tab, scroll to Places, and then scroll down to Seaside, and it's the second image. Let's get started. So the first thing to remember is that when you're coloring a background, you always want to do that very first before you color in the foreground. Otherwise, you might color in something that you didn't mean to. So let's go ahead and open up their color palette first, and I'm on the basic tap to fill mode. And under the Essential palette, scroll to Colorful. Let's set the mode to Gradient. And I'm going to choose this dark blue to white gradient. And all I'm going to do is just tap to fill, and the gradient right now is dark to light. Now open up the color palette again. Under the basic palette, I'm going to choose a few colors, and this time I'm going to use it under the advanced mode, so it has to be set to solid. And I'll choose a basic solid white, and then I'll choose this dark gray for the clouds. And I'm also going to use this blue. It's sort of a pale blue, and we're going to use that as a reflection on the clouds. To create clouds, you want to start with a basic foundation. So I'm going to choose this dark gray color. Just tap to fill each cloud with that dark gray, and that's going to be my base color. Now let's set the mode to Advanced and open up the toolbox. We're going to select the smudge tool. And right now we're going to have the size be all the way up to 100, but I want the opacity to be pretty low, probably about 30%. Now I'm going to select a custom color. So I'm going to hold down my pencil at the very top of the sky so I can select a nice dark navy blue, and that we're going to use that as sort of a shadow color. Make sure that you're coloring inside the lines mode, and let's zoom into our clouds. What I'm going to do right now is add just a little bit of a shadow, not pressing too hard, just a little bit of a semblance of the dark blue color. Now I want to lower my brush size down to about 40. And I'm going to select that pale blue that I chose, and we're going to add another layer. So making these clouds is about layers and opacity. So now I'm just pressing down and I'm adding a layer over that dark blue. So I'm using this color again because it's going to be reflecting the color of the ocean. Now let's select the white color, and then we want to make sure that we're coloring outside of the lines mode now. You'll see why later once I take away the black lines. And then let's open up the toolbox again. This time I want to raise the opacity all the way up to 100, and I'm gonna make the brush size just a little bit smaller, probably about 30%. And now let's zoom in, and we're going to very lightly just begin coloring in the cloud, each one at a time. And it's going beyond those black lines, that's okay. And then around those black line edges of the cloud, add a little bit more pressure. So each cloud is going to be a lot more white at the very top. Now we want to add a few detail edges to the clouds, so let's open up the toolbox. And I want to lower the size all the way down to 0 this time. And zooming into our object, the cloud, let's just do a little bit of an outline right up close to the edge of the top of each cloud. And you want to apply that same technique to the rest of the image. And that's it for coloring the background and clouds. So what you want to do now is, if you're satisfied with how it looks, go ahead and continue coloring the foreground. After you finish coloring in the foreground, it's time to go into the Effects tab. I recommend taking away the lines, and then under Effects, wet painting looks really good for a seaside image like this. Here's the final version of the seaside image. Now you can see that by taking away the black lines, it creates a seamless sky and adds an element of realism. You can use this tutorial to also create sunsets or stormy skies by just changing the color of the clouds. Thanks for watching our tutorial. You can get the Color Therapy app for free on the App Store.